Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10 and do a Q&A. I asked you guys earlier this week to leave some questions in the videos and in my community section, and you guys did, and I'm going to be answering them in this video today. The reason why I want to do this is because The Walking Dead Season 10 trailer is now dropping in less than a week. I can't even believe that. It's so fast. I'm very excited. We're going to be doing breakdowns all of next week, when the trailer drops. So be sure to hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date with anything new we learn about The Walking Dead. But with that being said, let's get into this Q&A. And these are really good questions. So you guys in the comments down below can give your answers also, because these are all, about The Walking Dead and we can all answer them. But starting off with Martin Carrillo, who asks, do you think that if Rick was in the show, he would take the Whisperers serious, and why? Besides, love your content, keep up the hard work, it will pay off. Well, thank you so much for the support, Martin. I do appreciate that. And to answer your question, yes, I definitely think Rick would take the Whisperers seriously. I definitely would have loved to see Rick dealing with the Whisperers, and I think he would deal with them pretty quickly and pretty seriously, because he knows that if he doesn't deal with stuff like he saw with Negan and how much, Negan and the Saviors are making him and his people miserable, I think now he would definitely have taken action a lot quicker. And I think that's also why it's interesting to see the group dealing with the Whisperers around Rick, because with Rick, there's always a sense of safety. So I think that's a way the show kind of benefited without Rick, to see how the characters will deal with the next group of villains without him. But yeah, I mean, the basis of your question, I definitely think Rick would take the Whisperers seriously, and I would love to see him there. The next question comes in from Vital Edge, who says, with The Walking Dead and Fear, they have made it the mission to give every character a distinct weapon. With Rick's revolver being found by Michonne, then given to Judith, what will Rick use as a main weapon in the movies? I don't imagine they'd have him find one. That's a really good question. I liked how you brought up that every character has a distinct weapon, because that is true. A lot of the main characters, we associate characters with weapons, and like you said, Rick doesn't have his weapon now. But when it comes to the movies, I think he's just going to use any random weapon that he comes across. You've seen Rick kick ass before with other weapons. So the revolver will always be his distinct weapon, and I think hopefully he gets it back sometime in the future, maybe in the last movie or at the end of The Walking Dead. I do hope Rick gets it back, but I think in the movies he's just gonna use any weapon that he finds, probably just a gun at the CRM base. Thank you for that question, Vital Edge. I do appreciate it. The next question comes in from BXWH, who says, do you think Alpha would die at the end of the first half of season 10, or do you think she'll make it through the whole season? Also, do you think Negan will kill Alpha, or will it be Carol or someone else? I think Alpha will die during the Whisper War, at the end of the Whisper War. So whatever that is, whether it's gonna be at the end of season, 10A, or is it gonna be 11 episodes, 12 episodes, whatever it is, I don't think she's gonna make it throughout the whole season, only because I don't think the Whisper War is gonna be the entire season, and I think Alpha is not gonna survive the Whisper War, especially since they set up that radio thing at the end of season 9. I do think there's gonna be another plot in season 10, towards the end. So I do think Alpha will die during the Whisper War, probably, yeah, like you said, at the end of the first half. That's my guess. And who do I think will kill Alpha? I think it's gonna be Negan. I think it's definitely gonna be Negan. I personally would like it to be Carol, because of Alpha killing Henry and stuff, but I do think it's gonna be Negan, only because of the redemption arc. If Negan is gonna be, and they keep teasing that Negan's gonna be more likable in season 10 and this and that, and I think in order for Negan to be 100% redeemed from the other characters in the show, I think he's gonna need to kill Alpha. So I think it's gonna be Alpha. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's gonna be Alpha or Carol? It's up to those two. I see a lot of people debating those two. I would like it to be Carol, but I think it's going to be Negan. Thank you for that question. The next question comes in from Vanessa, and she asked a couple of questions actually, so we're going to go through all of them. The first one said, now that the comic book series is over, do you think now Robert Kirkman will surprise us and go on to books or another comic book spin-off? Well, Robert Kirkman has a lot of other comics, so I think he wants to focus on those also. But in terms of The Walking Dead, I do think we will be getting books and even a comic book spin-off sometime in the future. I mean, I think it's because The Walking Dead is still very popular. Also with the show, the show doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. So, if it is successful and more successful, it's going to gain more popularity. And I think in the future, Robert Kirkman will do a spin-off or just catching up with the characters. So I do think, he will be releasing a book or a comic book spin-off in the future. The next question she asked is, are you satisfied with Fear the Walking Dead this season, or were you expecting more? I am a little disappointed in Fear the Walking Dead. I wish I wasn't. I wish I was satisfied, but with the teases all spring with the CRM, and that kind of ties into your next question, were you expecting more? I definitely was expecting more with the CRM, but you know, it's already episode 7 this week, and I don't really know where they're going with Fear, and I think they're taking too long with the plane. I still have high hopes with Logan and stuff, but I am a little disappointed with this season. The next question is, now that Michonne is leaving, do you really think Maggie's character is coming back, or is that wishful thinking? I do think Maggie will come back. I don't know if it's going to be this season. I'm hoping it's going to be this season, but I do think she will be back, and I think that's why they kept her alive. I mean, Angela King recently had an interview also with Entertainment Weekly saying that she's working on Maggie's Return, so I do think Maggie will be coming back soon. And then the last question she asked was, if you could choose 2 characters for a spin-off series, which character would you choose? That's a very tough and interesting question. I like that. So 2 characters for a spin-off series. I'm trying to think of characters that would actually make sense in a spin-off, maybe characters that have a story in The Walking Dead that we haven't seen yet. So with that in mind, I would probably pick, I don't know if this is going to be a good answer, it's probably a lame answer, but I would probably pick Maggie and Georgie. I want to see what they've been up to. Now that could totally backfire and Maggie could come back and we learn everything about her, but as of right now, today, if I had the opportunity to jump on AMC and watch a 5-episode miniseries about Maggie and Georgie and what they've been up to since Maggie left in season 9, I would do that because that's interesting. I want to see where Georgie is and what Maggie's been up to, so I would probably pick those 2. You guys let me know in the comments down below your ideas for a spin-off. But thank you for those questions, Vanessa. Those are really good questions. I appreciate it. The next question comes in from Lisa Nicole, and the question is, do you think the king will blame Daryl and Carol for Henry and for their breakup and lead to him turning on them or even trying to kill them? I got hints at him hating Daryl now, and Carol did say she knows he blames her for Henry, so she left. That's an interesting question, because yeah, I do think King Ezekiel doesn't like Daryl. Here's the thing. I don't think King Ezekiel will ever turn on them or even kill them or anything like that. That's way too far, especially since they're caught up with the Whisper War soon, and you know they're dealing with the Whispers. I don't think King Ezekiel will ever turn on anybody like that, but I do think he will blame Daryl, and he's probably not gonna like Daryl. I'm still hoping for King Ezekiel and Carol to get back together. I'm rooting for those 2. I like Daryl and Carol, but they never seem as a romantic couple for me, at least. So I want to see King Ezekiel and Carol get back together. And I think I think Ezekiel and Daryl will never really see eye to eye and never really fully like each other. But that's okay. You don't have to do that. So I think he's not gonna like Daryl, but I don't think he's gonna ever sabotage anything or turn on them. No, I don't think it's gonna happen. Thank you for that question, Lisa. And the next question comes in from Staying Lit 420, who says, will Daryl forgive Negan? I like that question because I've been thinking about that for a while, and I feel like out of all the characters right now in The Walking Dead, I have a feeling like Daryl's the one who hates Negan the most because of what Negan did to Daryl. We even saw at the end of last season, Negan and Michonne had that nice moment between them. We've never seen Daryl and Negan even interact, anything like that. So that's a tough question, and I think Daryl will have to eventually forgive Negan. So to answer your question, yes, I do think he will forgive Negan eventually, and I'm hoping Negan will save Daryl's life or do something, and he really has to do something in order for Daryl to forgive Negan. And it could be the same thing that I was talking about earlier with Lisa's question, with King Ezekiel not liking Daryl and stuff like that. Maybe Daryl will never really like Negan and never really give in to Negan, to be friends with him. And he doesn't have to. But I think in order to even work together, Negan will have to do something that redeems him in the eyes of Daryl, even saving him. So I do think eventually he will forgive Negan in a way. The next question comes in from Betty Smith, who says, do you think there will be more crossovers from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead? So, Walking Dead characters to Fear the Walking Dead, honestly, I don't think so. I think they're done with that. I mean, they could. Who knows? I mean, anything is possible. But I just feel like it'll be too much at that point and just not that exciting. I feel like people aren't really happy with the crossovers for some reason. They're nice and stuff to see the characters, but the show is really, there's nothing like super insane or like game changing about the crossovers, you know. It's just like a little nice twist and, you know, seeing characters crossover. But I don't think there's gonna be any more crossovers. I do think fear characters could go to The Walking Dead eventually, but the other way around, I don't think so. Thanks for that question, Betty. The next one comes in from Carlota Flores, who says, since they killed Carl and Henry, do you believe they will drop the storylines that should have been for Carl but went to Henry for someone new, or should they just go without them? I think it's gonna be a little bit mixed. Like, I don't think anybody is gonna specifically get the storylines anymore. Like, I feel like that's a little weird. Like, okay, we killed Carl, we killed Henry, now let's give it to somebody new. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think like maybe Lydia's gonna get a love interest. Like, that's like something that could happen, but I don't think it's gonna be I don't think anybody's gonna specifically get the storylines. I think it's gonna be mixed. Like, if Lydia needs to do something that she did with Carl in the comics, since Carl's gone and Henry's gone, she may do it with somebody else. But like, I don't think it's gonna be like one specific person. I don't think she's gonna have a Carl. But we'll see. I mean, they could, and it could be just like a random love interest, but I don't think it's going to be anything specific. I think the storylines are going to be given to everybody. Thanks for that question. That's a good question and a tough one, because I think replacing Henry would be a bit repetitive. Like, let's replace Carl, let's replace Henry. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Lydia's storylines in the comics will go to different characters, like you know, or I should say Carl's storylines in the comics will go to different characters. But moving on to the next question, Dilshad Azam, who says, do you think Rick will ever return to the Walking Dead original show? I definitely hope he does. Like, I don't think he's gonna return like fully, like for a full season or full time or anything like that, but I do think he will return in some way. Like, it's a cameo at the end of the show, or maybe a radio voice, something like that. I don't like, so that's as far as I all will go, like, in terms of returning, but I just don't think he's gonna return fully. But I still hope for him to return at the very end in a cameo way. Then the next question comes in from Brian Acom, who says, do you think Norman and Melissa will sign another 3-year contract after their contracts end? Should the show just do the comic ending? I think Norman and Melissa are going to stay on the show until the very end. So if the show wants to go on for another 3 years after their 3-year deal, then yeah, I'm sure they're going to sign another contract. It just depends how long the show is going to go. But I do think those two most likely will stay until the end. But we'll see if the show goes on for another 3 years. And honestly, I did like that comic ending, and I would like to see it come into the show in some way. Like maybe the very last episode, or a spin-off movie, or just something in the future where we catch up with all the remaining characters after The Walking Dead has ended. It's too early to tell what characters are going to be around, but what the comic did with the big time jump and everybody's grown and the world is going back to normal, I did like that. So yeah, I would like to see the show do something like that. And thank you for sending in that question. You guys let me know if you like that comic book ending and want to see it into the show. Thanks for sending in those questions, Brian. I did like those. Next question comes in from Callie Love, who said 2 questions. Do you think Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead will ever merge? I definitely think so. I think I don't know. I don't see the shows ending separately now that the shows are kind of combined, you know? I think that some characters on Fear will eventually go to The Walking Dead. I do think so. And then how do you think Michonne will exit the show? I think the best way for her to exit is to find out that Rick's alive and go after him. In hopes of returning, but if she never returns, she'll be in the movies. But I do think that's how she's gonna leave, and that's the most logical way in my opinion, unless she dies, which I hope not. But I think she needs to get some sort of indication that Rick is alive, and then she's gonna go after him. And then the last question we have comes from William Howard Taft, who says, how many seasons of The Walking Dead do you think will come after season 10? I think, me personally, would think season 12 is a good stopping point when it comes to storytelling. Now that the comics has ended, I think they could do season 12 would be a good stopping point. They could tie it in with the Rick movies. That, in my opinion, is a good number. But it depends on the ratings. Like, if the ratings skyrocket for some reason, either up or down. Like, if they skyrocket up and they get like 20 million viewers every episode for some reason, the highest ever, the show is definitely going to continue on. And then vice versa, if the ratings skyrocket downwards and they get like 1,000 viewers per episode, I don't think either of those situations are ever gonna happen. But I'm just saying, that would definitely make the show go longer or even shorter. But I think in terms of where the comic book is now with the Rick movies and tying everything together and having a good ending in general, I think season 12, 13 is a good number. I'm liking season 12 though. You guys let me know in the comments down below, how long do you think The Walking Dead will last? But those were the questions we have for The Walking Dead season 10 Q&A. The season 10 trailer, like I said, is dropping very shortly next week. I'm very excited about it. I'll be doing videos, breakdowns, all that sort of stuff because there's going to be a ton to talk about. So be sure you're subscribed to be kept up to date with all of that. I am going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for all those questions. Those are really, really good questions. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.